Hey, Amy. I thought I would show you and then I'll try to kind of type out instructions to go along with it since it's a little funky. Um, but in order to put the trials as well as the average, it's going to take a little bit of manipulation. Okay. So normally we just have our independent and dependent and it all goes right there. In order to add multiple trials, you have to kind of stair step or stagger each trial so that the data is going to show. Column A is always going to remain your independent variable. So kids will put data just kind of down as they go, and then they're going to step out each column for each trial. The trial one, here's my dependent variables that line up there. Trial two, I come down to match here, but put it in a column over. Same thing with trial three, I put it in a column over. If you still want them to have to do the average, I'm assuming that their independent variables are going to be exactly the same thing in terms of like the numbers, because if they're not, it gets a little hard to do the average. They'd have to do it manually without doing like a crazy formula. So assuming that it's still, for this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got my average again in a separate column. I'm going to come down and you can have them calculate it by hand. I don't know how you want them to do it. But if you want them to use the spreadsheet, they hit equals, average, and we just want like the regular average. We don't want any of the funky ones. And then they're going to press the control button and click the 3 pieces of data or however many pieces of data they need for the average. So I have my control button down. I'm picking the first one in each of my trials. And then I close my parentheses and I hit enter for the formula to run. So it gives me the average for those 3 trials. And then great thing about Sheets or Excel is you can just kind of grab that and drag it down. And it's going to follow the same pattern and take the second piece, the third piece, the fourth piece, etc. So your average is correct on that. Once that's done, once you have whatever data you want, you do the same thing that you'd normally do, highlight, insert chart. But this is where you may have to do some manipulation because it doesn't know exactly which data you want where. So for example, right now I have nothing under my x-axis and then I have a bunch of stuff. So I want to make sure that I'm on my line. Underneath my x-axis, we want our independent variable. So we want our time. So I'm going to add that. For me right now, it's still reading my headers. Okay, so I can pick time. If it wasn't doing that, I could always click, let's see, just to show you what it looks like. Click this part, select the data range, and then drag what I needed. So they could drag all of column A. But that wasn't necessary in this case. So x-axis is going to be my independent, obviously. And then underneath series, that becomes kind of your y-axis. I don't need time. So I'm going to click on the snowman and remove. And then I have my dependent, my average. And then, of course, you can customize and you can, add a chart title, time versus whatever. I don't know what it'd be, and change all the stuff that you need to change. I'm happy to help. If you need an extra pair of hands, just let me know. I know this is a little bit more than you're probably hoping for. But that is the easiest way to get multiple charts on the same graph. And yeah, just let me know how I can help you.